You pull up to a red light at 2 in the morning. Empty road in every direction, and within a few seconds it turns green. You probably didn't think twice about it, but you should have. Because if that light were running on a simple timer, it had no reason to change when it did. Something noticed you. And whatever it was, it isn't sitting in a control box on a pole. It isn't connected to a schedule, and it has been there, under your tires, every single time you've ever stopped at an intersection. Most drivers go their entire lives without knowing this system exists. Once you see what's actually happening the moment you roll up to a red light, the road you've been driving on your whole life is going to feel like a completely different place. Let's get into it. Here's the thing, the timer explanation makes total sense. Of course, that's how it works. Green, yellow, red, repeat. You picture some city engineer from 50 years ago sitting down, deciding that this intersection gets 45 seconds each way, and the light just keeps doing that. Forever, rain or shine, rush hour or midnight. A simple mechanical heartbeat ticking away whether anyone shows up or not. And it's not a stupid assumption. Early traffic lights did work almost exactly like that, a fixed cycle rotating on a clock, completely indifferent to what was actually on the road. Set it and forget it. The whole system felt so automatic, so invisible that nobody really questioned it. You stop, you wait, it changes. You go. There's no feedback, no interaction, just you and a countdown you can't see, running on rules you never needed to know. That mental model is so clean, so satisfying that most people never poke at it. Why would you? The light changes, you move, job done. But here's what's strange: if you actually watch an intersection long enough, really watch it, the timer story starts doing something uncomfortable. It starts not quite fitting. Think about the last time you sat at a red light with absolutely nobody else around. No headlights coming the other way. No pedestrians. Just you, the empty road, and a light that just keeps sitting there on red. If it's running a fixed timer, why hasn't it changed yet? What exactly is it counting down to? Or flip it. You've probably seen this too. A car pulls up beside you at a junction, and almost immediately the light goes green. Not after a full cycle. Right then. Like the intersection was waiting for that second car to show up before it made a decision. Neither of those moments makes sense on a fixed schedule. A timer doesn't care how many cars are there. It doesn't wait. It doesn't respond. It just runs. And that's the problem, because traffic engineers figured out a long time ago that a fixed timer is actually a terrible way to manage an intersection. Traffic isn't consistent. It surges in the morning, dies at midnight, spikes on weekends. A rigid cycle set to handle rush hour is wasteful at 2 a.m., and a cycle tuned for quiet nights creates gridlock at 8 a.m. The math just doesn't work. So at some point, someone decided the lights needed to stop guessing and start listening. The question is, what exactly are they listening to? Here's what's wild: the answer is already under your feet. Has been for decades. Right now, at most modern intersections, there is infrastructure buried inside the road itself. Not beside it, not above it, inside it. Cut directly into the asphalt before it was repaved, sealed in, invisible. And its entire job is to watch. Traffic engineers didn't just rewire the control boxes. They went deeper, literally. The detection happens at the surface, the part of the road you drive across without a second thought. That faint rectangular outline you might have noticed cut into the asphalt just before a stop line. That's not a crack. That's not a repair. That's a seam. And beneath it, something is running. These aren't cameras. They're not pressure plates. They don't have moving parts. They don't need a clear line of sight. They don't get blinded by sunlight, and they don't care what your car looks like. What they care about is whether your car is there at all. And the way they figure that out is strange enough that most engineers, when they first learn it, have to hear it twice. The system is passive. It isn't sending out a signal trying to find you. It's just waiting. And the moment you pull your vehicle over that rectangle in the road, something changes, something measurable, something the system can read, something that tells the intersection, a car just arrived. Give it the green. So the light doesn't change because a clock ran out. It changes because the road felt you. But here's what nobody ever explains. What does felt you actually mean? What is physically happening underneath a few inches of asphalt that can detect a 2-ton vehicle without a single moving part? There's a wire buried in the road beneath you, right now, at almost every intersection you've ever driven through, and it's generating a magnetic field. That wire, wound into a flat coil and embedded in a groove cut into the asphalt, is called an inductive loop detector. It's not measuring weight. It's not using a camera. It's doing something far stranger. It's creating an invisible field that extends up through the road surface, and it's waiting for something to disturb it. When your car rolls over that coil, the metal in your chassis, your engine block, your frame, your axles, it disrupts the field, changes its electrical properties in a measurable way. The loop literally senses the difference between field undisturbed and field disturbed, and that difference gets read as car present. Think of it like a key near a contactless lock. The key doesn't push anything, doesn't press anything. Its presence alone changes the electromagnetic relationship. That's what your car is doing every time you stop at a red light. You are the key. The road is the lock. That change in signal travels up a wire to a small device called a loop detector controller. It interprets the disruption, confirms a vehicle is sitting in the detection zone, and sends that information to the traffic signal controller, the brain of the intersection. And the controller decides what to do next. No human involved, no clock counting down, just a magnetic field disturbed by your car, triggering a cascade of signals that ends with the light turning green. You didn't wait for a timer. The system waited for you. And once you understand that one intersection is doing this, wait until you hear what happens when hundreds of them start talking to each other. Hundreds of intersections, all of them listening, all of them feeding data back into a network that is actively making decisions, not about one car, but about thousands of them at once. Traffic engineers figured out something remarkable. If you coordinate the timing across a whole stretch of road, you can create what they call a green wave, a cascade of green lights timed so that a car traveling at the right speed hits every single one without stopping. You've probably stumbled into one without realizing it. That stretch where every light just opens for you. That wasn't luck. That was the system doing its job. And it goes further than convenience. When an emergency vehicle needs a clear corridor, some systems can detect that too, holding lights, clearing intersections, cutting a path through the city in real time. Here's the part that should stop you cold. Every commute you've ever had, every time you thought you were just passively waiting on a machine, you were actually part of the input. Your car was the data. The system was responding to you the entire time. Which means the road itself has been paying attention. And now, you're about to find out exactly where it's been looking. Pull up to any red light. Look down at the pavement just ahead of the stop line. See that rectangular seam cut into the asphalt. That's it. That's where the wire is. That's where the field is humming right now, waiting. Every city street you've ever driven, every intersection you've ever cursed at, every light that seemed to take forever or changed the moment you arrived. There was a wire under all of it, sensing, reporting, feeding a system that was never as passive as it looked. You weren't just waiting on a machine, you were being read by one. And the strangest part, nothing about the road looks different. It never did. The wire is invisible. The field is invisible. The whole conversation between your car and the road happens in silence, in milliseconds, in the dark beneath your tires. There is an entire network like this buried under your city right now. Loops of wire in every lane at every intersection, humming with a magnetic field, waiting for the next car to roll over and complete the circuit. It never sleeps. It never stops listening. The next time you pull up to a red light, look at that rectangle in the road. The road already knows you're there.